A cold, still and crystal clear morning. The holy trinity of weather conditions for Big Air. And what's not to love about Big Air? The name says it all. A pile of snow so big it can be seen from space gives riders the opportunity to explore Cardrona's upper stratosphere. Traditionally, a Big Air format demands riders unleash their biggest tricks, which in recent years has turned the world's best into human tumble dryers, hell-bent on chasing big spins. It's technically spectacular, but in pursuit of these limits, style has been jettisoned. Not here though.
We have a very cool, unique format here. We're judging a style trick and a technical traditional Big Air trick. So they get 2 scores out of 100 added together for a possible total of 200. So it rewards consistency in both style and sendiness.
So things were switched up. 2 jumps would count towards the overall score. 1 tech, 1 style. The concept was well received by everyone.
It's nothing other competition. Only this competition. So good. So fun.
Vibes are super high. We're up here at the top of the Big Air. I mean, everyone's throwing down. It's a pretty cool format. I mean, I've never done a comp with a format like this, so it's awesome.
With the world's best off the leash, things started to get loose. Canadian Olivia Asselin started with style, landing a glorious Rodeo 5 Japan shifty, and the judges dug deep for a 91. Ruby Andrews drew a line in the sand with her big switch 1080 for 80 points, while Megan Oldham went haute couture with this stunning left 3 blunt for 76. Asselin then shifted gears to tech but backslapped on her double cork 1080. Ruby Andrews tried to push her score, repeating her first trick. But a hand down on the landing meant she couldn't better it. Also switching to tech, Megan Oldham went for a cork 9 blunt, her immaculate execution earning her a 90. Asselin was locked in a battle for her double cork 1080. And at this stage, she was losing. Ruby Andrews couldn't grab her switch 5 and heaped the pressure on her final jump. Megan Oldham, with 2 strong scores on the board, went for a Rodeo 5, but it wasn't her best work. Asselin had one last chance at the double cork 10 and absolutely nailed it. 95 points combined with her first jump score meant she was leading on 186. Next up, Ruby Andrews. She landed her switch 540 Japan grab for a 74, which secured her 3rd place. Oldham was fighting for first. She needed a 96 to beat Asselin. Her stunning cork 9 blunt was close, but 84 was not enough, so Ruby Andrews took 3rd, Oldham 2nd, and impervious to pressure, Olivia Asselin took 1st.
Thank you. Yeah, that was really fun, super fun event. It's a really great way to see all around good skiers, to have a style trick and a tech trick. I thought it was a really good way to see who the really good skiers are.
Jackson Wells opened the men's skiing with his coach Raider whispering a couple of last words of encouragement before he dropped. His dub 7 was an effortless opener. Taisei Yamamoto's smile hides the competitive guile of a man who came to play. And his triple 1800 nose to the 3rd line was all the proof the judges needed. 97 points for a beast of a trick. Max Moffat gave us a glimpse of things to come with a 360 pullback. Finn Bilous knows every flake of snow on this jump by name. He's ridden it so much, but he overcooked his first jump going deep on this double 16. Jacko backed up the style with the tech on his second jumper, switch 12 for 78. A right dub 7 from Taisei picked up a pedestrian 62, but his 98 from the first run was still working hard for him. Max Moffat upped the ante with his 360 pullback, essentially a rewind or changing the direction of the spin mid-air by slowing it down to a 180. The judges loved it and he skied away with an 84.
Oh, that was so scary.
Finn Bilous doesn't make the same mistake twice and he tidied up his 16 to bank an 81. Nollie 180, it could only be Jacko, playing with the kicker like an orca plays with a seal. But in terms of points, it only just broke the 70-point barrier. Jacko would need something big for his fourth jump. Ferdy Dahl came to the party late, but he made an entrance with this manual on the run-in into a Rodeo 5 blunt. Taisei Yamamoto had greased his tech score but was struggling with style, this 540 leaving the judges cold. Meanwhile, a misty 1440 from Max Moffat proved he had no trouble transitioning between style and tech, a combined score of 170 to take the lead. Finn Bilous unveiled this majestic Rodeo 5 with a lead mute grab. With the tech and style jump banked, he sat on 166.
Nice. Happy days.
Allergic to pressure, Jackson Wells carved into this 720 and pole planted mogul style on the lip, making it look way easier than it actually is. Luckily, the judges saw through his ruse and rewarded him with a 91. A double misty 1260 from the Norwegian Ferdy Dahl earned him a 76, close but still a handful of points shy of the podium. Taisei went for the eye-catching with his final style jump, a Rodeo 5 bow and arrow. Unfortunately, he was lacking finesse and would have to settle for fifth. With little to lose, Max Moffat went all in. A double cork Bio 16 safety to Japan grab. It was received like Versace's 1991 autumn-winter collection by the judges, with tears and flowers everywhere. 98 points saw victory seemingly out of sight. A beautiful dub 1620 from Finn Bilous did improve his score, but not by enough. Third place went to Jackson Wells, second to Finn Bilous, and first to the Canadian Max Moffat.
A breath of fresh air for me to do a big air like this. You know, usually every big air is 3 jumps, 2 of them count, kind of your best tricks. So it was, yeah, definitely a lot different, but I love the sort of switch up and the creativity aspect. And yeah, I think that's sort of what snowboarding and free skiing was sort of built off of. So I think it's the best way to push the sport, honestly.
Miyabi Onitsuka swung for the fences with the first jump of the women's snowboard, a frontside 1080. Unfortunately, the landing wasn't forthcoming. Like a cat burglar on snow, Mari Fukada stole away with this very valuable switch backside 9, giving her the upper hand after the first run. Miyabi Onitsuka stuck to her guns and had another go at the front 10, but she couldn't get it under control. Meanwhile, like an alpine version of the hare and the tortoise, Mari Fukada started working on her style trick, a huge backside 9. Unfortunately, she couldn't stick it. Miyabi opted to add more cork to her front 10 and it worked. She was tail heavy on the landing but banked a big score to pressure Mari. But the young Japanese rider wasn't fazed. As always, she went about her work methodically and cleaned up her back 9 with a solid mute grab. Her combined score from both jumps now totaling 159. Sitting on 88 for her front 10, Miyabi needed a 72 for her final jump to best Fukada. A perfectly measured front 3 with just a hint of nosebone was enough to seal the win for Miyabi. Mari Fukada took second, and despite injury, Cool Wakushima picked up third. The men's kicked off with Hiroaki Kunitake leaving jaws on the floor with a frontside quad cork 1800. It's the first time he's tried this trick in competition, and it's as rare as gumboots at the Oscars. He couldn't land it, but it set the tone for the onslaught to follow. Taiga Hasegawa was the first man to land all 4 1800s.
Switchback 18, backside 18, frontside 18, cab 18, 4 18.
So he went, by his standards at least, easy, landing a perfect frontside 1620 mute. Bucking the trend, Valentino Guseli went for style with a switchback rodeo Japan. His poise and control in a ridiculously awkward trick was something to behold. Ryoma Kimata, another of the Japanese heavy hitters, went back to the spin cycle with a frontside triple 18 attempt, but was also found wanting. With laser focus, Kunitake dropped into his second attempt at the frontside quad 18 and stomped it. His reaction would let the world know how much it meant to him. A score of 98 for Hiro, and the bar for Tech was all but out of sight. That only served to rile up Valentino Guseli, who thumped out a frontside 1800. A respectable 91 kept him in the hunt for the win. Ryoma Kimata tried to follow suit, but again dropped his frontside 18. With a quad safely tucked away, Hiro set about his style tricks, opening with a front 7 Japan off his toes. An 82 meant his combined score after 3 jumps was already 180. Taiga Hasegawa broke the 90-point barrier with a stunning switch method, arguably one of the scariest tricks you could try on a kicker of this size. 179, his overall score after 3 jumps. Just 1 point behind Kunitake. Step up, Valentino Guseli.
It's not very often that we get to showcase both style and technicality in the same event, because usually if you did a 540 in X Games or something, in an X Games Big Air, you'd get scored like a 20. But we're here and we get to do that and we don't get scored 20s. So yeah, like I did a switchback rodeo and got a 93 for it. So it's cool to be able to really just bone things as hard as you can and just put as much flavour into stuff and perfection as possible.
This trick is a mind-bending mix of physics and control with lashings of style. Switch backside double cork 1080 with a stale fish turned into a method on the second dip. The judges rewarded Val with a 96 and he moved into first place with 187. Ryoma Kimata then threw his hat in the ring with a frontside 18 mute. It could even have been a style trick with that tweak. 92 points with 1 jump left. Kaito Hamada had dropped his first 3 attempts at a switchback 16, but floored everyone with this stunning backside 540 pullback on his last hit. The judges gave him a 98, but without a tech score, it was ultimately meaningless. Despite their best efforts, no one could raise the bar any higher, and so Taiga Hasegawa would take third. Hiroaki Kunitake, despite being only the second man to land a frontside quad in competition, had to settle for second. And Valentino Guseli, the true renaissance man of snowboarding right now, claimed the victory. That closed out an incredible day of riding,